Nomi Operations is an analytics platform that combines data collected from Nomi sensors with data from your business, such as point of sale and labor data, to give you a full picture of your store's performance and help users at all levels within your organization make more informed business decisions. This is version 2 of the Nomi Operations product, which will be released later this year. Imagine that you're the head of retail operations at ABC Company. This is what you would see when you log in. You can log in from any device at any time at Nomi.com. When you log in, you see the data from all the sources consolidated into a single view so you can quickly see how your chain is performing based on your most important metrics: revenue, visits, and conversion rate. I can quickly see in 1 second that my sales are slightly down compared to last year, but my traffic is actually up. After I've understood how I'm doing overall, next I'd want to identify problem areas in stores. The scoreboard widget makes it very easy to do this. It shows a list of all my regions ordered by year-over-year sales with the worst performers at the top. It appears that the Northeast region is performing the worst, as sales are down this year 13.6%. To drill into this region, I can just click on it. And now the data in the view updates. I know that I'm one level deeper in my store hierarchy through the breadcrumbs. I've gone from all stores into the Northeast region. And my scoreboard now updates to show the districts within the Northeast region. And I see that it's the New York district that is the only one where year-over-year sales are down. So clicking on that, I can now go one level deeper into the New York district, and all of my data updates and my scoreboard updates to show now the stores within that district. Here I see right at the top that it's just the Herald Square store that is dragging down the district. So I can click on that, and now I am in the Herald Square store view. Now that I've identified the problem, the Herald Square store, I next want to understand what's causing this problem and how it could be fixed. We can get a deeper understanding of these key metrics by diving into one of the other tabs, each of which helps you understand a specific aspect of your business. Sales, all about how your sales are doing. Traffic, how many visitors are entering your store. Behavior, once visitors are inside the store, what are they doing? Staffing, how do staffing levels affect your store's performance? Loyalty, who is returning to your store and how frequently? And service, how is my service level and queue lengths being handled? So I'm going to dive into the sales tab because I want to investigate conversion rate for this Herald Square store. Because looking at my widgets in the overview, I can see that while sales are down, traffic is actually up. So it must be something that's going on inside the store. So with the sales tab, we see revenue at the top left and the components of revenue: traffic, conversion rate, and dollars per transaction. Below each of these metrics is a set of comparisons that quickly tell you if this number is good or bad. We see here the conversion rate is down compared to last year and compared to the 4-week rolling average. These comparisons are customizable. If you have a sales plan or goal, you could use that as a comparison instead. In each tab, widgets at the top provide the high-level metrics, and pre-canned reports below allow you to drill in further. Instead of forcing you to figure out how to extract value from your data, we've created a series of super simple pre-canned reports that are each built around answering a specific business question. Seeing that your conversion rate is down, your first question would likely be, how long has this been happening? You can answer that using the trending sales report. This shows my conversion rate in purple for the last 6 weeks, along with the two components of conversion rate: visits in light blue and transactions in dark blue. Here we see the low conversion rate is just a recent problem. It was steady up until this week, when it took a dive. Noting that, next we'd want to drill in to this week to understand if this problem is isolated to a specific day. We can do that using the day of week report. In the day of week report, the view is similar, except now each one of my columns is a day of this week. This shows us that low conversion rate actually occurred on Saturday, and it was fairly steady the other days of the week. So lastly, I'd want to drill into this Saturday to understand if this is changing throughout the day on Saturday. And I can do that using the hourly heat map report. This report takes the day of the week report and layers in hours. So I'm looking at the value of two metrics, visits and conversion rate, for each hour of each day of the week. For example, at 9 a.m. on Monday, I had 6 visits and 13.3% conversion rate. Going back to Saturday, which was the day I saw in the day of week report that had a low conversion rate, I can look at that by hour. And I see that Saturday's conversion rate was really low conversion rate was really only in the morning. And it happened for 5 consecutive hours, which makes me think it has something to do with that staff's shift. So to drill into staffing, to answer that question, I can go into the staffing tab. The staffing tab has the same layout as the sales and all the other tabs. Key metrics with comparisons at the top, and pre-canned reports offering more detailed insights below. Instead of revenue, the staffing tab highlights visits per employee hour. This is the number of visitors a store had in a given time period, divided by the number of employee hours that happened then. The higher the number, the more visitors per associate, meaning these visitors likely received worse service. The staffing tab also has an hourly heat map report, which we can use to see the visits per employee hour on Saturday morning when the conversion rate was low. As suspected, we weren't staffed properly to handle that many customers Saturday morning. I see visits per employee hour were much higher Saturday morning than at other times during the week. So to recap this workflow, first we quickly saw our overall performance on the Overview tab right when we logged in. Then, using the scoreboard, we easily identified our problem stores, being Herald Square. Then, using the pre-canned reports, we understood the cause of this problem and how we could fix it. Staffing on Saturday morning. But there's one thing missing. We want to take action to fix this problem. Nomi Ops has a few features that makes this really easy. Any of the reports can be exported using the export button. So I could export this chart and shoot it in an email to the store manager, telling her to move someone's afternoon start time to the morning. And finally, I'd want to check up on the store next week to make sure this problem was fixed. If I use the watch list and add this Herald Square store to my watch list, I don't have to remember the stores that I want to keep tabs on. Next week, when I log back in, I can click on my watch list and I'll see all the stores that I wanted to check up on. And I can look again at Herald Square to see if that Saturday morning low conversion problem has been fixed. Nomi Operations is not only great for monitoring store performance like we just did, but also for measuring tests and in-store initiatives. Because this account has Brickstream Live devices, we can get a live video feed of the camera's hemispheric lens to see what's happening at the front of the store. Watching the video makes me remember this was one of the test stores where we were testing a coffee bar. With Nomi Ops, we can measure the effect of this coffee bar on not only in-store behavior, but also on loyalty. To see its effect on in-store behavior, I can click on the Behavior tab. Our Wi-Fi sensors record how long visitors spend in the store, which we report as average visit duration. I can see that this store with a coffee bar had a higher average visit duration than the district average, 21% higher, which makes me think this is likely because people are coming to the coffee bar where they're spending longer. To confirm this, I can go to the Behavior by Zone report. This shows all of my Wi-Fi zones on a floor plan of the store. Looking at the coffee bar Wi-Fi zone, I can see 15% of all visitors into this store went to the coffee bar, quite a large number. So now that I've seen how the coffee bar has affected in-store behavior, I'd also want to see how it's affecting loyalty. And we can do that in the Loyalty tab. Not only can we record data on Wi-Fi enabled devices within a single visit, like the data we show in the Behavior tab, but because each device has a unique ID, we're able to record which stores a device goes to and how frequently. This information is displayed in the Loyalty tab, which allows you to keep a pulse on visitor loyalty. The cohort analysis report in the Loyalty tab shows how the store's customer base is growing each month, and if the new visitors it's attracting are turning into loyal visitors. The first column is the number of new devices the store saw that month. The columns to the right show of those new visitors what percentage returned after each month. Looking at this, we see in September there were 83 new visitors, and 12% of those 83 returned the next month, October, 10% returned after 2 months, which would be November, and 9.8% returned after 3 months in December. This store opened the coffee bar in October, and this report is showing me that since the coffee bar opened, not only have I been growing my customer base, so in October I drew in a lot more new visitors than September, but also the new visitors that I'm bringing in are becoming loyal. The new visitors in October and since the coffee bar have returned at a much higher rate than those before the coffee bar. So this is showing me that the coffee bar is a big success, both in bringing new visitors into the store and in instilling loyalty. Nomi Operations was made with more than one user in mind. While it's very powerful for corporate users, it's also very easy and actionable for store managers who aren't professional analysts and can't afford to spend more than a few minutes a day in the back room on the Nomi dashboard. Imagine we're the store manager at that Herald Square store. This is what we would see when we log in. We can quickly see the most important information to us: visits, sales, conversion rate, and average basket size. This data updates every 15 minutes, so I can use it to make course corrections throughout the day. If traffic is high, but I'm behind on my sales goal, I might ask an employee to stay an extra hour. If conversion rate is suffering, I'll have my employees hold off on restocking until another shift and focus solely on the customers. Store managers aren't analysts and don't want to analyze data. They just want to get information that will help them better run their store. The Nomi Insights widget shows some of the ways Nomi can help. It poses questions in plain English that can be answered using Nomi's pre-canned reports, such as, can I change store hours to increase sales? When should I have an employee at the entrance? What conversion rate do I need to reach my sales goals? And if I click in any of these, I can get the answer to that question. So can I change store hours to increase sales? Takes me to the hourly traffic optimization report. Here I see a heat map of passerbys, meaning how many people are walking past my store but not entering each hour of each day. This information is captured using our Wi-Fi sensors. On top of this heat map, overlaid is the store open and store close hours. This store opens at 9 a.m. and closes at 8 p.m. I can compare my close time to my outside potential traffic and see if there are any days, such as Thursday, when I'm missing out on a lot of potential outside opportunity by closing earlier. So at this store, I may want to test staying open an hour or two later on Thursday to see if I can capture some of the large opportunity of people passing by after my store is closed. That's just one example of a Nomi insight. Another, what conversion rate do I need to reach my sales goal? This takes me to the goal calculator, which lets me set a goal on a specific KPI. So I can say I want to set my goal for next week's conversion rate. If I'm a store manager, my bonus may be affected by me hitting a specific sales goal. But I would want to know what conversion rate I need to reach that sales goal. And I can do that with this goal calculator. So here I've set that I want to create a goal for my conversion rate, so it locks this metric. And here I see my sales equation, which is sales equals visits times conversion rate times average order value. And because I've locked the conversion rate, I can only set the other three metrics, and I can set that to whatever I like. So let's say my sales goal was to get sales versus last year, but maybe visits have been down since last year, so I could set my visits to be what they have been like the last 4 weeks. And maybe my average order value has been consistent, so I would set that to my last 4 weeks, and it would tell me what conversion rate I then need to reach my sales goal. And there are many of these different reports. Another is the customer funnel. With a traditional door counter, the customer funnel is only 2 levels. It shows you how many visitors you have coming in your store and what percentage of those convert. With Nomi and Wi-Fi sensors, we're able to give you more context and much more detail around your customer funnel. The Nomi customer funnel starts outside the store and tells you your potential traffic, how many people are passing by your store outside. Then what percentage of those you're able to capture, your capture rate. Then of visitors coming in, rather than going right down to transactions, we have an intermediate step of browsing. This is the percentage of visits that lasted more than 30 seconds. That is the engagement rate, and those are the browsers. Of those people who stayed more than 30 seconds, the percentage of those who purchased is the browser purchase rate. The real insight in this report is, if you see that your conversion rate is down, you can understand why it's down. It may be because you're having trouble engaging people right when they walk in, and that could be due to staff greeting or front of store merchandising. Or it could be another problem. Maybe your engagement rate is high, but your browser purchase rate is low, meaning this could be something to do with merchandising or closing the sale. So that's a quick overview of the Nomi Operations product. It helps users monitor store performance, identify problems, get context around those problems to make business decisions on how to fix them, and to test in-store initiatives.